Okay, let's dive straight in. We're looking today at a really key moment, the removal of Bishop Joseph Strickland back in November 2023.
Yeah, from the Diocese of Tyler, Texas. And our main source here is a very revealing interview from that time with Deacon Keith Fournier.
Right, someone who worked very closely with Bishop Strickland for 5 years, I think. So he had a real inside perspective on, the spiritual health of the diocese and Strickland's character.
Exactly. And this is important because, well, the official reasons given for the removal were, let's say, not entirely clear at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The backdrop, as many listeners will know, was Bishop Strickland being very outspoken, particularly defending his flock regarding the restrictions from Traditionis Custodes.
That's the Motu Proprio restricting the traditional Latin Mass. Just for context, a Motu Proprio is basically a legal doc issued directly by the Pope.
And speaking of popes, we need to set the scene properly. The removal happened when Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost was prefect for the Dicastery for bishops.
And he, of course, is now Pope Leo XIV since May 2025.
Right. Pope Leo XIV is, well, he's known for wanting to foster unity. He seems to favor the Church's sacred deposit of faith. But there's also this aim to continue the directions set by Pope Francis.
His predecessor, yeah. And Pope Francis, well, many who hold to tradition saw him as, frankly, undermining the sacred deposit of faith through various words and actions. It's a complicated legacy.
Very. There's
Yeah.
a real tension. And look, if you want to really grapple with these kinds of challenges within the Church.
The crisis of faith, really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We strongly suggest visiting www.epistles.online. It's an
Yeah.
apostolate that offers a balanced view. It's not modernist, but it's not ultra-traditionalist either.
And he directly confronts the tough issues. Clericalism, liberalism, modernism, all the things that, fuel this crisis. It's valuable stuff. You can find the link at epistles.online.
Okay, so back to Deacon Fournier's testimony. What did he actually say about the Diocese of Tyler under Strickland?
He was unequivocal. He said it was flourishing. Not just okay, but flourishing in every sense.
Spiritually flourishing, financially flourishing?
And this is huge. Vocations. He claimed they had more vocations per capita than perhaps any other U.S. diocese. That's a powerful indicator.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And Fournier connects this flourishing directly to Strickland's leadership style. He specifically pushed back against what he called the misguided model of bishops acting like CEOs.
Right, focused on admin and metrics, maybe.
Instead, Strickland used an ecclesial model, like the apostles did, leading through prayer, through service, through spiritual authority, not, corporate management techniques.
And you see that in the specific habits Fournier mentioned, like starting every single meeting with prayer.
Every meeting. And apparently he'd always point to the crucifix and just say, it's about him.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning Jesus, obviously.
Keeping the focus clear.
Yeah. And his favorite saying, Fournier said, was about needing to be first-century Christians in a 21st century world.
That really sums up a different approach, doesn't it? It's not about institutional preservation above all else.
No, it's about authentic faith. And this flowed into Strickland's personal character, according to the deacon. He called him the most genuinely humble and holy man he'd ever met.
High praise.
He described him as a true successor of the apostles, a man constantly in Eucharistic adoration, consecrated to Our Lady.
Fournier also mentioned his simplicity, didn't he? Living like St. Francis, even down to worn-out shoes.
Yes, very simple personal life, but, and this is key, he spared nothing for the altar of the Lord. His dedication was to God's glory, not personal comfort.
So this image emerges. Humble, prayerful, leading a thriving diocese. How did Fournier square that with the removal?
Well, the interview suggests that Strickland's effectiveness, rooted in his littleness, his simplicity, and his total dependence on God, might have been seen as problematic. Perhaps it didn't fit the expected mold.
Because he wasn't playing the political game?
Possibly. He guarded the sacred deposit of faith without compromise, but Fournier emphasizes he did it with joy, not with finger-wagging, always on his knees, metaphorically speaking.
So the core idea is that maybe true spiritual success, the kind that produces vocations and holiness, isn't always the primary value in some institutional circles if it disrupts the status quo.
That seems to be the implication. His greatness wasn't in management or maneuvering, but in genuine holiness and shepherding.
A really challenging thought. But Deacon Fournier ended on a hopeful note, didn't he?
He did. He said that even though Bishop Strickland was removed from governing the diocese, he'll continue serving the Lord as a bishop. And Fournier strongly believes, quote, the best is yet to come.
That's a powerful statement of faith in itself, that God's work continues regardless of titles or positions.
Exactly. Holiness and its fruits can't ultimately be suppressed.
So, a lot for you, the listener, to think about there. And if you want to explore more about confronting the current crisis in the church with this kind of authentic faith,
Please do check out the apostolate we mentioned earlier, www.epistles.online.
we really encourage you to support his work. You can do that through prayers, which are always needed, or by sharing his posts, or perhaps subscribing if you're able.
Any support helps keep his mission going and ensures this kind of content remains freely available to everyone trying to navigate these difficult times.
Definitely worth your time. That's www.epistles.online.